But it's my honor to start our meeting today. My name is Ann Hoskins. I'm the chair of the International Relations Committee. And it's an honor to start today's meeting with the Terry Barnich Award ceremony. It's my pleasure to share with you more information on the purpose of the annual award for promoting international cooperation among utility regulators and development of professional regulation, which is awarded each year by NARUC's Committee on International Relations. And what I'd first like to do is, we have a few folks in the room who have already been awarded this in the past. We've been doing this for about 4 years. So I want to ask them to stand up. One I see is Denise Parrish. Denise, would you like to stand up? Wyoming, and I know she's done a number of trips with the international program. And former Commissioner Kevin Gunn. Is he still here? Bill Smith or David Boyd or Kim Wisman are here. They made it in yet. Okay, so I think all of you probably know of the work or of these people because they have all helped sort of blaze the trail in our international relations work. But let me tell you a moment about what this award is about, and that's in memory of Terry Barnich. And I was just given a very nice card about Terry. I guess just looking at it, were any of you commissioners here when Terry was also a commissioner? Okay, so we got Jack Tasky, who's going to get here in a moment. So it was established in 2001, and it honors the former chairman of the Illinois Commerce Commission, and he served as chairman from 1989 to 1992. His name is Terry Barnich, was killed on Memorial Day, May 25th, 2009, while working as Deputy Director of the State Department Office overseeing U.S. reconstruction projects in Iraq. He was a dedicated public servant and an active NARUC member. It's awarded, so as a result of that, I guess this award was created about 5 years ago to honor a commissioner or a staff member who also has dedicated themselves to advancing the work on the international frontier. So today I'm very honored that we have another one of our colleagues who has been nominated and will be given this award. And to introduce our colleague, I'm going to ask our second vice president or vice chair of NARUC, Jack Tasky, to come forward. And he will introduce him. But it is my honor first to mention that the award for this year is going to be given to Commissioner Paul Roberti. He's of Rhode Island, and he will be the recipient of the 2015 Terry Barnich Award. So, come on up, Paul. Just before Jack does the formal introduction, it's kind of funny. I actually got to know Paul on an international trip, really. I mean, we'd both been in NARUC for a while, but it's really when you go on these international projects, you get to see such amazing work that's being done in the countries by our staff, but also by other commissioners. And so I had the honor of traveling with Commissioner Roberti to Turkey last year. And earlier today, when we had our Around the World session, I think almost everyone I talked to had said they had done some work with Commissioner Roberti on the international frontier. And that's really why I'm sure he was nominated and why we're so honored to give him this award. But I'd also just like to take this moment to encourage all of you who have not had the opportunity yet to participate with our international staff on the important work that we're doing, to consider doing so in the future, because it makes such a difference to our colleagues around the world. We can all grow among each other, and as we'll hear from Commissioner Roberti, it can be a tremendous personal growth experience as well. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Jack Tasky.
Thank you, Commissioner Hoskins. It's just wonderful to be here this afternoon. For those of you that were in Istanbul, if you remember, it's good that Commissioner Roberti is here today because he ran in front of a trolley and you just missed it by about 30 seconds. We thought we were going to lose him when we were in Istanbul, so we're glad you ran past in that trolley. It's my delight to present this award to my distinguished colleague from Rhode Island, Commissioner Paul Roberti, who epitomizes the qualities needed to promote NARUC's international relations program and has done a terrific job for NARUC in this area. He's helped NARUC in very innovative ways that have helped grow new projects and tools for providing assistance to foreign partners. He assisted the international program in 2 scoping missions to Jamaica in February and India in September. This is during 2015. These were conducted at the request of USAID and were designed to identify key challenges for partners in drafting a scope of work for NARUC's engagement in these countries. Paul served as technical resource in these conversations and helped build relationships from peer-to-peer perspective. His contributions and his insights during these crucial trips propelled NARUC's projects forward and allowed NARUC's International to craft highly responsible partnerships throughout the world. He also supported the Mexico Electricity Regulatory Partnership in remote peer review in November on the general terms and conditions regulating the retail electric supply. And this is the first such virtual line-by-line peer review for documents for foreign partner-related regulators conducted by NARUC and allow NARUC to be responsive to requests for assistance from Mexican regulator in a timely manner at a very low cost. He also, as I indicated, participated in the World Forum on Energy Regulation in Istanbul, Turkey in May to support NARUC's overall efforts to foster dialogue on regulatory issues with partners across the world. Paul's dedication to public service beyond the borders of the United States is exemplary and valuable to the international community energy regulators. It's my great honor this afternoon to present the Kerry Barnich Award to Paul Roberti, my distinguished friend and colleague from the great state of Rhode Island.
Here, the first thought was around the world within one term, 6 years. Don't tell my governor. But you know what? After I finish my remarks, maybe we do talk. That train, I forget who I was looking at, and they looked at me more seriously, more serious and serious. I saw the face, and I said, something's going to happen. And in the cacophony of noises in Istanbul, I didn't realize that the train was coming at me, and I jumped out of the way. But boy, there were a lot of other stories too. I can't share them. I can't share them. There are people in the room that will have to tell you separately. Like Jarlin and Catherine and Chrissy and of course Devin, where I did 2 trips with. Chairman Hoskins, Executive Director Greg White, President Kabula, Second Vice President Bekowski, my dear friend and colleague from New England who nominated me for this award, NARUC staff, who I work so closely with, who were critical to the work that I did, fellow commissioners and colleagues. Let me first say that it is a great honor to be a recipient of the Terry Barnich Award. Indeed, it represents the highest honor in my public service career. Let me begin with the person for whom this award was created, Terry Barnich. I never had the opportunity to meet Terry, but I did some research and I want to share what I learned about his exceptional public service commitment and the personal attributes that made him such a great man. Disarmingly intellectual, a gifted communicator, well-read and passionate, honorable, courageous, impressive, and beloved. Terry strongly believed in his Iraq mission. He knew it was dangerous, but was quoted as saying, "Everyone dies one day, but not everybody's death has meaning. To die for something you believe in gives your life and your death meaning." Terry was indeed a brave, fearless hero, serving the cause of freedom. And while my work on the international front pales in comparison to his accomplishments, I am so humbled to stand before you today as the recipient of the award named for him. When I took my first assignment to Moldova, I didn't know what to expect. Traveling to a faraway land, meeting with regulators that speak a different language and use different regulatory terms, spending days giving presentations and sharing regulatory experiences, learning their culture, and understanding their challenges in the midst of translators. I will admit that I was challenged and sometimes a bit nervous. Looking back now, I would have to say it was some of the most rewarding work of my public service career. My experiences shaped me as a regulator, but even more importantly, they changed me as a person. What I learned is that amid all the challenges each country faces, they all had one thing in common. They look up to the United States of America. They respect us. They admire our market-based economy, our institutions, our system of property rights, and our adherence to the rule of law. It emphasized to me that our nation needs to remain deeply engaged in world affairs. Because when we are not, it is conspicuous to those nations who depend on us, who must, without our assistance, find help from other countries, or worse, none at all. NARUC's regulatory partnerships create relationships that endure, that emanate throughout governmental institutions of the nations we assist. We act as ambassadors, advancing good regulatory policies that foster investment, advancing the availability of essential public utility services, and bringing the positive American spirit that defines our nation. My experiences made me realize that what we have in this country is truly remarkable. Security, peace, prosperity, and the availability of ubiquitous utility services at just and reasonable rates. Reading about Terry's life and sacrifice, I remember being in Georgia with Greg and Jargling. It was the immediate aftermath of Russian tanks rolling into Ukraine. And I'll never forget seeing the look of despair in the eyes of the Georgians. It was a moment when I was overcome with a feeling of wanting to do more to help, like Terry Barnich had done in Iraq. And that feeling remains in my bones to this day. Whether it be the challenged nations of Eastern Europe where Russia's presence still dominates, or Nigeria with the threats of Boko Haram and the lack of electricity, or India where the months preceding our visit, there were 12 major power outages due to a spate of collapsing transmission structures that were too old. Or the challenges of Jamaica or Mexico, I learned that we all have something very important in common with our counterparts. We all take very seriously the responsibilities entrusted to us, and we all truly care about doing the right thing for ratepayers and citizens. There is no doubt that NARUC's and USAID's work is exceedingly important to the cause of strengthening public regulation around the world. And it has been a privilege to be a part of that effort. And I am grateful to NARUC, USAID, and the exceptional staff within NARUC's international programs, to whom I remain indebted for helping me succeed in the important work we do on behalf of our nation. Thank you so much.